So should I just go? Hey guys, welcome to the first match of the 5th round of Season 1 between the Roxerces and Annihilation. I'm your commentator, Pesto, and with me today is my co-commentator, Pepe, and streamer, TomD53. Would you like to introduce yourself, Pepe?
Good afternoon, glad to be here.
Yeah, so today we have Annihilation coming off a very close game versus Delta Force from last week that they won 1-0, I believe it was 1-1, 4-4. They're currently 3-1 in the standings and are number 2. Rocks, on the other hand, were coming off a bye after losing to, coincidentally enough, Delta Force as well. However, they are still 2-1 and are currently 4th in the standings. So we know that rocks, but can they also roll? We'll see in a few minutes' time. It is a 12v12 today. So we have the matchup between the 5th and 7th seed. So yeah, would you like to say anything, Pepe?
Just as far as predictions go, I think the matchup against Delta Force for each team is going to be kind of telling, in my opinion. Obviously, Annihilation had a very close one, but Delta Force managed to beat Rocks quite decisively. And I feel as if that'll come to show today. I think Annihilation's been having quite a lot of momentum, and they may be a little staggered having a close match last week, but I think they'll be ready to execute today.
Yeah, I agree. I would have it to also predict that Annihilation will win, and yeah, I do think we'll have a bit of an entertaining match today. I do think Roxerces will put up at least a bit of a fight against Annihilation. So we're about to read out limits here. I'll leave that to you to read out.
Absolutely. So again, this is a 12v12. Limits will be 3 heavy, 3 ninja, 3 soldier, 2 chemists, 2 elves, and 2 medics, 1 archer, assassin, engineer, mage, 1 necro, 1 pyro, and 1 scout, and of course, no dwarves and no fashionistas.
Yeah. So
So looking ahead, I'm thinking some of the key players we're going to see are from Rocks, obviously 93 and Fella. I think they're quite easily some of the 2 stronger offensive players they have on their team. In practically every match, 93 is the one to get the steal and get the cap for Rocks, and Fella's no slouch at soldier either. And on the other hand, Annihilation, of course, Brandino be one of the best archers in the game, and Miski, just his leadership ability, I think will bring them everything they need to win today. Because again, I predict Annihilation will come out on top. But we'll hold that thought, because in 3 seconds we are going to start. Now the match is underway.
seems like 93's ninja here. Might be going for a ninja cap to start off against Annihilation.
On the other hand, Danny is of course a ninja, but he goes down at the Rocks flag.
Yeah. Annihilation also takes care of 93. It seems like Miski's about to go in here. Just go steal the flag. He is getting out, does have a medic with him, but goes down to Gaming Socks. So Verdona here trying to get the backup steal. He is elf, and he's going to be met up, trying to get to the medic, but he is all alone now. and goes down to F1 Brown. So, off to a dynamic start by Annihilation, I think. Though Roxerces is doing a very good job on holding them off, preventing them from getting to the medic, who in this match is actually G.I. Joe, rather than their usual offensive medic and Insanity.
So far, it seems as if Roxas had trouble making it to the flag room. The Annihilation roaming has been doing a great job splitting them up and taking them down. And of course, the Archers is posing a massive threat. And it seems as if much of Roxas' offense turns and fights the roaming rather than just trying to get to the flag a lot of the time. But as I say that, Glash steals, as does Cardona on the other end. But Glash will go down to the Assassin and Cardona to the Pyro. An interesting thing to see is that Annihilation's routes are pretty much all different. No player is going the same way as another. And thus far, it seems as if that's been working out for them, because a lot of the time, more than one of them get into the flag room at any given moment. And I think splitting up and not grouping is maybe counterintuitively making that happen.
Yeah, and as you say that Cardona gets the flag, but it does go down to Gaming Socks. Jack trying to get the flag here. It goes down though. I think the Annihilation offenses regrouping. Jack coming off a big game last week against Delta Force. His named player of the game by me. But yeah. Let's see here. Bar 1, 2, 3, 4 playing Pyro, which is something he seems to have picked up in this tourney. I mean, this season. He's usually known as an elf player, but when you have players like 93 and fellow 001, might not be as needed. Lowrise is an interesting Pyro map, as some players might even argue that Pyro is not really as useful as other maps, as the Pyro can be easily knocked off the ledge with the interesting flag room that Lowrise has.
I entirely agree. That's an interesting thought to put forward, just not running a Pyro. I know many teams on 10v10s don't even bother because it's so easy to knock off without a defensive medic to support. But here in a 12v12, both teams are running it, and we'll see if they have any effect through the stat line at the end of the game. Of course, it can't hurt, but as I say that, Fella gets out. He goes down to the ninjas, but it's picked up by Cake in a suit. Necro. The Assassin goes down, there's no one around him.
He's on 0 stick right now, so he gets the medic. Not sure where the medic is, though.
I don't see the medic anywhere, actually.
Yeah. But he's still alive. On the breakaway, he has a lot of support with him, too, but I still don't see a medic. There's the medic.
He gets the medic, finally.
Might get a first capture. Almost gets knocked off there.
Dangerously close.
Yeah, Roxerces might pull off the first cap. Assuming there were no setbacks. Cardona's trying to get a counter steal. He is managing to get out. He's lagging. He is out though. And he does get to the restore.
Oh, he might be off the. He's off the map.
He does get knocked off, and that's going to be a capture for the Roxerces.
Wow.
So that is a very surprising start there. Cake in a suit, off of I believe a pickup. What a way to get your first capture in the Season 1 tourney.
Annihilation goes into the flag room. Chectation does steal. He's on fire and is taking quite a bit of damage, and he's caught in the web. And he'll go down to the ninja.
93 picks it up on the other hand. He is elf. He is going top. Danny on him. He's still alive. Medic's trying to catch up to him. He has a bit of support with him. But now he needs to find a medic. I'm not sure how many stick he has.
He's incredibly
very
low. Finds the medic, though.
I've gone to regen at least. He is still low, though. Hasn't gone to restore. Try and get that restore now.
Given all the bulk around him, I'm surprised he's held out this long.
Yeah. Especially as Elf. Not to mention that Annihilation's offense is now coming back. He's still alive.
Wow.
Still on his feet. Danny on him. He's still alive. Fridge now on him.
Finds the medic.
This could be another capture here.
Brandino is taking shots. But he can't quite get him. 93 separated from his support.
Corona gets a backup steal. A counter steal, my bad. He is currently... He's Ninja. And this is a stalemate, I think, as Monkey Noodles picks it up. And he's... I think we have a stalemate on our hands here.
Monkey Noodles is Necro. Wow. I think Rox is too eager to support 93 and forgot to watch the flag as Cardona got out quite easily.
Yeah. And you'd have to expect that 93 will pass here because he is Elf, and that is not an ideal class to hold as on stalemate. Especially against a team like Annihilation that just has... They can just send in a bunch of bulk and just wipe out Roxerces support.
And
so right now, time to pass. Yeah, right now would be an ideal time to pass. There are no ninja. Never mind. No, it doesn't say that. Well, yeah, now it is. No. Okay. Yeah.
Annihilation's ninjas are something you need to look out for because, of course, Magnificent and Danny are arguably some of the better ones in the game. And if they can keep up constant pressure on 93 as an elf, I feel like it's only a matter of time before they recover.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Looks like it might pass it to Galashy here.
On the other hand, Rox is sending a lot of bulk after Monkey, but it seems that they're getting separated and coming in one at a time, and it's not that effective. We'll see if they can figure that out in the meantime, but for now, Annihilation continues to send ninjas.
Still no pass yet from Roxerces, despite having a lot of opportunity to do so. Nisky is scout here. Nisky is known for being a very good soldier, but he's also known for being a very good scout, as you can put himself 93 drops and felt it up. I'm not sure if that was a pass or not. If it was, it seems like they're successful and they finally got it to a soldier. Which is very good for Rox. Now they can send 93 on Recov, but also now an elf is not holding it, rather a soldier is, which is a much better class to hold as.
One thing I noticed that Danny mentioned in the chat is that he claims someone on Rox is abusing one of the glitches that lets you see invis ninjas. And I'm not sure if the refs will do anything about that, but as Dave mentions, Anni seems a little upset about that. I'm not sure if they're going to tilt as a result, but it's something to consider with the match moving forward.
Yeah. Mentality is a very big part in CTF. For sure.
Oddly enough, they seem to have sent a elf to recov on Fella. That's Cardona. I'm not sure what the intention was there because he was using melee as opposed to his pure element, but I think Anni needs to get a little bit more structure going with their recov because it seems like they're a little disjointed right now.
Yeah. Monkey Noodles dead tag, and seems like that was Ninja trying to get on him. Yeah, it's interesting to hold as a Necro, because then, if you're Necro, then, like, can't really get death tags off of you, so, like, it is interesting to play as a Necro in a stalemate.
And I think I saw G.I. Joe as engineer prior supporting Monkey, which of course would handle the death tag, but he's nowhere to be found right now. I think he's gone bulk to help with the recov. But speaking of which, Rock seems to be getting quite a lot in. 2 heavies and a ninja, and a scout.
A lot of pressure right now.
Monkey is death tagged, and he's taking a lot of damage, but it seems like they held out.
Yeah. Roche there is putting on the pressure as heavy. So I think so far, I think most people are probably surprised in how well Roxerces is doing. It's not like anyone was expecting them to be wiped out or anything, but at the same time, not sure if anyone really expected them to be winning like 12 minutes into the match, or 11 minutes, rather.
Oh, of course, me included. I'm honestly a little surprised that they managed to get the first cap to begin with, much less hold out this long. Because, again, Annihilation has so much momentum going into this match. They're the second-ranked team, and I thought they would be a shoe-in for not necessarily a quick, but a relatively comfortable victory, but no, Rox is continuously defying expectations for me.
Yeah, you gotta applaud Roxerces for that. for that.
I think I mentioned this a number of weeks ago, but it seems like Rox is one of those teams that always plays up to their competition. They might not necessarily win, but by no means is it going to be an easy victory. And that's something I really admire, especially in such a new team.
Yeah, for sure. I think losing before the bye week, 4-1, 4-0 to Delta Force, we were there too. We were commentating that and streaming and recording. And then going to the bye week, I think they have a bit of a chip on their their shoulder. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like their mentality is gotta be high up there.
Annihilation has quite a bit getting in. 2 ninjas, a scout. I saw an assassin before. A fella is taking a little bit of damage, but he survives. That push is quickly snuffed out. On the other end, I haven't seen much pressure on Monkey in quite a bit. I think Rox's recovery is just trying to get a little bit more composed before they make another push. They seem to be sending bulk now.
Yeah.
And Annihilation's recovery seems to have brought a medic with them. I think they're realizing that the clock is ticking on this match, and if they don't get a recov soon, they're going to lose map 1, so I think they're continuously sending more and more to help recov as opposed to support Monkey.
Yeah, I have to agree there. Seems like Will is picked up as assassin. Got it. Looks like Bar's picked up here. Bar goes down to the 2 heavies, which isn't actually that big of a loss on a map like a Lowrise, where the stalemate spot is basically right in front of the spawn, but sub kicking the suit. Yeah, interesting point that Bar has been moving out of the stalemate spot often, which is something worth noting. But it does seem like they have held out for the past, I don't even know by now, like maybe 5 minutes or so. So it has worked out for them. As I say that, there's a lot of pressure. Bar is out again. Cardona's on Assassin now, which is very interesting. Sending 2 heavies here, Danny. And recovered by a Roche. And if Fella can get here, that will be... Oh, Chak with a ninja steal. He's going back, and Annihilation might have just gotten another counter. Oh, that's a pickup by the chemist. The Will is on chemist right now. And wow.
That was
very clutch move there by Chactation. Seems like Annihilation has just been blocking Roxerces from getting any capture here.
As Dave points out, that was good on Chak for not noticing that no one was watching the ninja backup. And while his Monkey just went down to sheer bulk and damage, they were there to get the backup steal and keep the stalemate going, which I suppose is better off than conceding a cap.
Yeah.
I'd wager that Annihilation sending so much on recov left Monkey vulnerable to just being taken down by the bulk. And hopefully they won't make that same mistake again if they want to win, but again, it's only 4 minutes left in this map. So if they don't do something soon, it's going to look like Rox is going to take this.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Roxerces is still in position to win here. One episode on map 1. Map 2 is Desert Strike, which I would have to give Annihilation the advantage there, because just for the sole fact that they have much more experience on that map than Roxerces, being an older team, of course. But before we get to that map, guys, watch how this stalemate goes. Pressure still is on Annihilation. Yeah, it is interesting that Will is holding. Usually, his role is usually a defensive assassin, so it is interesting that he's holding here as a chemist.
He does get death tagged as ninjas get in.
So
and he's
Bulk.
kind of low. No, he's fine.
He is revival tagged, which would probably be an accident. Don't usually intentionally revival tag the carrier. So that's useless. As you see here, Annihilation sending Bulk onto Fella, but Roxerces is doing a good job keeping Kavivi and Danny and Miski back. So Roxerces' support has done very well. They're very good on this map. Kavivi going in here as heavy. Alone is he today? It's a Fella. He's all alone as Bulk. So Fire Turtle is pushing up, by the way, as Pyro. He's low, he's poisoned. He's trying to frenzy, but gets dealt with. Fella doing a nice job moving away. So very good job there by Rox, coordinating and calling out the Pyro. But Annihilation here is sending Bulk again, and another, seems like, entourage, maybe, of Monkey Noodles and Kavivi. They're being held back, though, by Gaming Socks, F1 Brown.
Oh my goodness.
There's less than 2 minutes left here, but it seems like Fella's dead tag, but he is, again, Roxerces' support is pulling up here. Very good job, as there was, again, less than 2 minutes left.
Yeah, I gotta give it to Rox's roaming. Like, seeing Barb roam up as Pyro and everyone kind of just wandering around doing much of their own thing, it's been working out phenomenally. And on one hand, like, you could argue that Bar could be, taken down by heavies and cut off, but it seems like no one's been able to get in to attack Fella all in one group. And another thing I've noticed is that rather than send their archer on support, on recovery rather, Zodra is staying as support in the flag room, and I think at this point, Rox's mentality isn't necessarily recover, but more of hold out and win this map, because there is only 60 seconds left as the clock is winding down, and it seems like Annihilation is getting more and more desperate.
Yeah, there's 40 seconds left, and it seems like Will has moved up next to the flag in case they do manage to clutch up here and get a recovery. But that's highly unlikely here. Jacktation is assassin. He's pushing up now. Yeah, I mean, 25 seconds left. Roxerces is probably gonna pull out a win here.
Seems like Annihilation sending practically everything they can at Fella in this last push, because this is probably the last opportunity they're going to have.
Yeah, and 10 seconds left.
And I think that's going to be map 1. Wow.
What a surprise. Lots and lots of credit goes to Rox. Wow. No one was expecting that. 1-0 Roxerces. Next map is Desert Strike 3, and which is a classic map, old map, in fact. Many people may recognize it. But yeah, before we do, let's head to the highlights and see what has happened over the past map. I've just been informed that we can't do highlights. Yeah, so any thoughts after that first map?
Well, I think, like you said, I don't think many people expected Rox to win, much less shutting Annihilation out. It was, again, stalemate for much of the map, but being able to hold out that long against a team that experienced and with so much momentum going into the week is impressive no matter how you look at it. And as for this map, what do you think is going to go down? Because I think both teams can approach this in different ways. I think on one hand, Rox has elves and soldiers and Fella in 93 who can really take advantage of the way this map is laid out. But again, as you mentioned previously, Annihilation does have that experience factor going in. So if you had to place a bet on the score of this map or who will win the match all entirely, what would you think?
I mean, again, I mentioned this in the last map, but I mentioned that, Annihilation is a much more experienced team and has that veteran experience. And this map is an old map and hasn't really been played in matches in a while. And, if Annihilation has that experience on this map, Roxerces on the other hand, I mean, I'd have to assume they don't really have as much, considering how, they're not really a new team anymore. I mean, they've been around for over a year, but I don't think they've been old enough that they've really had quite the experience on this map. So I would have to say I predict Annihilation will win, but I, be expect the unexpected, I suppose.
Of course. And one thing I'd like to mention in the chat, people have seemed to know, rather 915 has noticed that Bar has been on Labby Mod, and as a result has been able to see Invis Ninja. And 915 has ordered Bar to either switch clients or stop playing in the match, and I think they're kind of cracking down on that glitch right now. I think this is a good way of handling it rather than just disqualifying a team. But no, it's strange to think about that this glitch has gone overlooked for so long and it's only now being addressed. And I'm not sure if that had much of an influence on the outcome of the last map, but maybe that was the reason Bar was roaming up, simply because he could see the ninjas. I myself don't use Labby Mod, so I'm not certain, but it is something to consider.
It wouldn't be the first time that controversy has happened during a Rox match. Maybe we were there, a few weeks ago in the Rox vs. Focia match where True Champion got banned mid-match, like right before the third map. So, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time we see controversy. Here we go. 2 minutes 50 seconds left in the match. I'm not sure why it took this long for. But yeah. Someone in chat saying we want drama. Well, here's the drama you're getting. You're at Bar.
I mean, if you're Annihilation thinking about what just went down, knowing that their Pyro was able to see your ninjas through the entire match, you think you'd be a little upset about that, and I'm not sure they're going to be the most composed moving forward. Obviously, they're likely still, going to try their hardest, but I mean, I think we experienced that when True Champion got banned. We were a little annoyed that they had a player who was cheating on their roster, and now Bar's been being able to see the Invis ninjas, whether intentionally or not. I don't know if he planned on exploiting that glitch, but whatever the case may be, it's something you need to think about in terms of how Annihilation is going to approach this next map.
Yeah, and honestly, usually it's not really a big thing, because usually that would just mean, like, if a ninja is pushing up to, take down the Pyro, then, it's kind of like, that's not really, I mean, it happens a lot in matches, but it's not like that's in every play. But then we saw in the last map, like, half of that map was a stalemate, so,
No, of course, and I think on a map like Lowrise, where Pyro isn't that vital, stalemates is really where it's going to become important. And if they can just stop the ninjas as they come in every single time, then I suppose I guess that's the influence they were looking for.
Yeah, I agree.
So the clock is winding down. We have 50 seconds to go before this next map. And it seems like some of the teams are rethinking their roles, what they're going to do to approach this. Rock seems to be looking for a more soldier-intensive offense. Annihilation is more taking care of communications in Discord, it seems, as they've been asking each other to check their DMs and whatnot. Whether that's about coordinating their offense or, talking about what just went down in that last map with the abuse of the glitch, then I'm not totally sure. But 30 seconds on the clock, now 20. And again, to reiterate, I still think Annihilation might come out on top this map, or match as a whole, rather. I think Rox will give them a strong run for their money, as they've shown. They've came to play today. They're taking no prisoners, but on a map like this, where it's not played as often, experience is going to come down and be one of the big deciding factors, I think we'll see Annihilation pull forward. Nonetheless, the match is underway. Annihilation's offense looking semi-traditional, elf soldiers.
Yeah, Dave does bring up a really good point here that elf is a really good class on this map. So all eyes are on Cardona and 93 here. Both very good offensive players, as they have proven so far in this season. Cardona wasn't active for a while, but now he is back and he's on Annihilation. As I say, that Tractation gets the flag, but goes down. Cardona goes down to bar. Cardona gets the flag. He goes down to F1. Glashy gets the flag, and she goes down to fire turtle.
I think the point you made about Cardona and 93 being strong offensive players is really poignant here, because if Elf is as overpowered on this map as people believe, this is a good way to highlight it, because these are two of probably the best Elf players in the game, and seeing those two go on offense and clash head-to-head in the sense will be a really good illustration of what that really looks like.
For sure. Did I say that? 93 is being held up though by Chubb 360. Miski gets the flag. But 93 gets the flag as well. He's frenzy and gets webbed though by Austin. We saw Austin last week against Delta Force. He had a lot of really good webs as defensive medic.
It's interesting to see Austin flex into that role, because normally you'd see him on Mage. But I think the way the team sizes are for this map, and the fact that, maybe it's more of a PvP-oriented game mode nowadays, that Mage isn't necessarily viable on every map. And of course, Austin is one of the better mages out there, but seeing him be able to fill the role that his team needs is something I appreciate.
Yeah, it's an example of being a really good team player, I think. And, defensive medic is, I think everyone recognizes 93 is trying to get in here. He is on fire. He is going to get the flag. He is out. Trying to get his flag, but gets assassinated by Will. Very nice. Yeah, as I was saying, Fella gets the flag, gets frenzy. As I was saying, defensive medic, I think, is a class of, everyone can agree that almost everyone can play that class. You don't really need... there's no disrespect to defensive medic mains, but, it is a very, replaceable class, I guess. You can put almost anyone on defensive medic, and they wouldn't do too bad of a job, I'd say.
I agree. It's not necessarily the most skill-intensive thing, but nonetheless, it's necessary in teams where, 12v12s and larger match sizes. And just having someone being willing to do that, especially if they're better off, or more well-known in a different role, it really shows that team play is what's really making things work.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting they bring up size, because usually back when this map was played, I think it was usually back in the sort of era where 8v8s were the dominant size. Now it's 12v12/10v10, so it is interesting to see how this match goes, in that different size compared to before.
Glash steals as Soldier.
She is very laggy right now.
Fire Turtle burns his Frenzy, which may lead to an opportunity for a backup steal. 93 gets it. He's relatively healthy, but he runs into the Pyro. Now he's down to 4 health. He goes down, all the while Tractation is stolen.
He's getting out.
He's out quite far as Soldier, but no support is around him, which may be a concern. Finds the Sponge, though. And Insanity is checked in for Medic is something to note. Annihilation seems like he's bringing a stronger roster now. And chat goes down to Gaming Socks. But Cardona backup steals. There's practically no one in the flag room, but Gaming Socks gets there again. Wow. It seems like both teams are more or less trying to solo steal a lot of the time, which I think is probably not the best approach, especially on an enclosed flag room like this. Because earlier I saw Fella just kind of running on his own, and oh, as I say that, Miski goes in, gets the flag. He is Elf now, but he goes down to the Soldier.
Yeah, it's very interesting that Miski and Cardona switched roles. That's not something I really expect. I mean, maybe there's something, maybe wrong with their, their lag or something. Bit of an interesting switch there. Yeah, I think you mentioned solo stealing, but it might also just be a factor of, both defenses doing a really good job on roaming, which honestly is not really much something I would expect on this map, but if you ask me, looking at my own eyes, like, Cardona gets the flag, by the way. He is Soldier, right in front of blue spawn. Goes down to Roach, or Autumn leaves 2.
Much like last map, Annihilation is kind of splitting up where they're going in from. I don't see two players going in the same direction. Oh, Glash stole, but went down to the Pyro immediately. And now Fella steals, but he again goes down to the Pyro.
Cardona gets the flag. Being held back though, has a bit of support with him. Trying to get out. Is on top of the flag room now. He is managing to get out. He is all alone right now.
Finds the sponge.
He is far out. He has some support with him too. Now Fridge is there. Oh, but gets headshot by Zodra. Very nice headshot there.
But Miski does get the backup steal.
Correct.
And he's going. He goes down to Gaming Socks.
Yeah, we've not seen much Archer action in this match so far as, half of Lowrise was a stalemate. So it's nice to see that, the Archers are alive and well, and they're here and they're ready to play the match. And you just saw there Zodra getting a very nice headshot when his team needed it. So yeah, once again, it seems like you mentioned both offenses have been staggered for whatever reason, and that's kind of been hurting both offenses. I think the closest chance we saw was that Zodra headshot by Miski that took down Miski. Let's just say that Miski gets the flag. Dora is trying to get to the flag, but he's on fire. Chad gets it. He is frenzied, and he goes down to Bar. Cardona gets the flag again, and he also goes down to Roche. Roche playing defensive bulk, which I think something I've noticed in the seasons that he's been playing a lot more defense, which I think is a bit strange. And as I say that, Minecraft just crashed for me. That's nice. You take over commentating for now on.
Absolutely. Fella does steal, but he goes down to the Ninja. All the while, Annihilation needs to be ready to make a push. Two of their soldiers get in, that's Cardona and Jactation. Cardona does steal. He gets taken down by the soldier. Shaq is all alone. But Miski is entered, waters the flag, gets caught in a web though. And he'll go down as well. And I think the story of this match really has been single steals and then dropping. In Annihilation's case, a lot of backup stealing. It seems like much of their steals by Cardona were backup steals. It's not necessarily, I'd say, the best strategy, just to try to go in one by one and hope something works. And on the other end, Rox has been struggling to get their entire offense in at any given moment. The roaming, whether it be the Archer or the Assassin from Annihilation, has been doing a phenomenal job of picking them apart. Meanwhile, Cardona has stolen on the other end of the map. He'll go down to the Medic. And that's another offensive push of Annihilation snuffed out. A brief steal by 93. Welcome back. Flash stolen again and goes down. It seems like all of Rox's steals are shut down in the flag room. Like, as soon as they steal, they are just frankly dying to the defense. Oh, is that a ninja steal?
No, it's an elf.
It's not.
Danny's
Danny's
playing
on elf now.
That's very interesting.
I gotta say, some of these roles by Annihilation are looking a bit strange, because switching Cardona to Soldier and Miski and Danny on Elf is simply not something I'd expect. I'm not sure what their intention is, but it seems like, if anything, that makes their roster worse off in terms of offense. Because again, if you have a player like Cardona who's so good at Elf and Miski who's, knows how to play Soldier so well, then you'd think that's what you'd be running, but I think it just reflects the desperation that Annihilation has for a cap right now.
Yeah, I agree. When you switch up roles like that, it probably says something about your team in the moment. Not often, but you really go off your roles like that. So it is interesting CTF how what roles your team plays. Also says something about what you could say something about what the mentality is like in your team. As I say, that Checktation has the flag. He is on top. He has no stake, so he needs to find a medic here. He's going to go down to F1 Brown, the Australian ping. So nice play there by F1. It's the power of the F1 fans. Anyways, Corona gets the flag, and he is going to go down again. So yeah, Roxerces' defense very surprising today, as they've been getting they've been stopping this Annihilation offense, which is known to be one of the best in the game, with players like Miski and Czech and Cardona. Their map is Castle Caverns VI, so should the score hold, we will be going to that map. Be interesting to watch.
There is still 8 minutes left. It's important to note that, again, Annihilation has been getting, I'd say, the better steals. They've gotten out of the flag room numerous times, whereas Rox really hasn't been able to do that. And I think if things keep up the way they are, it's only a matter of time before Annihilation makes something work.
Yeah, for sure. And eventually, one of these pushes, Annihilation is going to get a capture, and I can feel it. Danny gets the flag here. He's getting to the sponge. Oh, it gets webbed there by Abra, but all of their defense takes the sponge while he was webbed. So they went ahead of him, which is interesting. But he does go down, so it doesn't matter.
Danny seems a little upset in chat about what just happened. He says he can't break the web. I think this may be indication that Annihilation's not really in the best mindset right now to tackle this. Yeah, like you said, the mental game is a big part of CTF, and if this is the way they're going into it, especially on a map where it's been back and forth and just kind of frustrating, I'm not sure if that resolve will help them in the long run.
Yeah, and lately we've seen a lot of people complain about, defensive medic and, how webbing sort of just ruins games and whatnot. And we can see maybe an example why people think that right there. But also, yeah, you said that it seems like the mentality of Annie right now, morale is probably a bit low. And honestly, you can't really blame him. I mean, if I was Annihilation, I'd be going into this match expecting to win, but obviously that's not the case right now. It's tied 0-0. So you can't really blame Annie, but at the same time, in CTF, you gotta stay focused and keep pushing. Which is something a lot of people seem to regret sometimes. This fella gets the flag here, but he's being cornered by the Annihilation defense. Miski's on scout right now. Cardona gets the flag. Fella's still alive. He has 0 stake. He's not at full health, but he's also not really at low health. He's still out.
Cardona goes down in the meantime.
There's a wall climb here just to avoid the Randino's arrows. Gets the restore as well. Gets swapped back, but he's still alive.
I think he's just about out of wall climb right now.
Yeah, he's gotta be. Does drop, yeah.
Oh, F4 Brown with the assassinate.
This might be another capture here. They're trying to corner him.
Oh,
he goes down to Will. And that is gotta be very unfortunate for Rox. That's the closest they'll get. As Cardona here has the flag as well. And he is out. He has some support with him. Doesn't matter though, he goes down to 93. But yeah, if you're Fella and if you're Roxerces, gotta be bummed out there. That was easily the closest they've gotten to a capture.
Absolutely. That was absolutely heartbreaking. I think that's the closest either team has gotten to a capture of this map. But as we say that, Danny has stolen again. He is Elf. Finds the sponge, and he's already at half map. Wow.
Yeah, and
He has
as
the
we
medic with
say,
him too.
close. Gaming Sauce trying to stop here. Bar is also trying to stop him here. There's that bar.
Goes down to 93, the ninja.
Damn, so two very, very close steals here. That almost captures, but both defenses coming up with very clutch stops. Roach here gets the flag. He is Soldier, so it seems like he switched to offense. As I mentioned earlier, he is typically an offensive player. So it seems like Annihilation has switched up the roles. It seems like Roxerces is no different. Kasham gets the flag, who I assume is Chemist, and he is, but he also goes down to Shove Up. Yeah, 4 minutes, 20 seconds left. Nice. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, you saw two really close steals here. You might see a clutch, walk off, perhaps capture here, but not sure.
I mean, just seeing those two back-to-back really close steals, it seems like the momentum is shifting. It seems like one of these teams will eventually break through. And as the clock is winding down and things get more dire, I think this is the time to do it. As I said, that 93 steals.
He is Elf. Misses the sponge though. And he has the medic with him. Has 2 stake.
He needs the restore now, but he does get. Oh no, goes down to the scout.
This guy's done a pretty interesting job, a pretty good job as well. Switching to scout, helping out both the defense and offense. I don't know, maybe he's trying to collect more footage for his montage.
I think Annihilation just shuffling rolls this much on this map is kind of not necessarily the best approach they could be taking. I mean, they did relatively well. They, held out on the first map quite well despite losing, playing on their usual roles, and now things are getting a bit shuffled, and it just seems a bit frantic to me because, whatever the case may be, whether it be lag, tilting, and just, sheer dumb luck, but I think going back to a more traditional approach, because they do have a very strong roster with a lot of experience, I think that would benefit them a little bit more.
I'm sure. Annihilation's defense right now covering 93, which makes sense, and 93 probably is the #1 threat on the Roxerces offense. 5 captures in the season so far. Danny gets the flag. He's out as Elf, trying to get to the sponge. Gaming Socks on his tail. He's winding. He's getting some support here, trying to get to Nin. Trying to get the restore. He does get the restore. Oh, but goes down to F1 Brown. Nin Sanity picks it up. He does have Austin with him. And a lot of support as well. Fella gets a steal, on the other hand.
It's important to see the Archer is still alive, but he is taken care of. And barring ninjas, Nin looks like he's pretty far out. As for Fella, he is still a little caught up.
Goes down though to the ninjas. Very unfortunate that it is. Fella on the other hand is still alive. He is getting out. He's dead tag. He does have 4 stake.
He has no medic with him right now.
This might be game-winning capture, essentially, if he gets it. And he looks like he will get it. He is going to get the capture here. And Roxerces.
Oh, Cardona
gets the flag.
Just in the nick of time.
He's getting boosted ahead. It does get to the restore. He has to have 2 medics with him. Wow, what a... Very, very clutch there by Cardona to get a counter steal, as now it seems like they just need to hold out 50 seconds to at least prevent Roxerces from winning the match.
Wow.
Altogether. Wow, what a turn of events in the final minute here of this match. Now Cardona
I doubt 30 seconds is enough time for either team to recover. And
yeah, and
it looks like we're going to map 3, I believe.
Map 3 it is, Caverns VI. One of the maps in the map pool that aren't often played, or at least not often played in matches beforehand, before the season and the draft tourney. Yeah, interesting clothing spot here by Fella. Right under the flag room staircase. Nothing will matter though, as this is a tie, and we're gonna go to map 3.
I think it's safe to say no one really expected this match to go down this long, much less to map 3. I think, well, I myself included, predicted that Annihilation would walk away with a fairly comfortable victory, but lo and behold, Rox is coming to play today.
They're coming to play, indeed. And right now, if you are Annihilation, the situation is that you have to get at least, I believe, 2 captures. You have to win by at least 2 captures on this map in order to come out with a win. If you win by 1, it will come out as a tie, and if you tie, or obviously if you lose the overall match. So.
No, that's absolutely right. This is really do or die time for Annihilation. And in a map like this, where you don't really see it in a competitive, much less casual, much at all, it's really hard to make a prediction as to what's going to happen because, like you mentioned, it was played in the drafting tournament, and some of these players may be well acquainted with it there. But aside from that, just having experience on this map is pretty much a rare thing to come by.
Yeah. It seems like the player with the most damage from map 2 was Gaming Socks with 3,589. The most kills is Brandino with 81 kills. So you can see how both defenses, in terms of PvP and just managing to stop the offense, have done a really good job. Brandino is easily one of the best archers out there for sure. Top five in my opinion.
Top 2 for me. I mean, it's undoubtable. After putting up 81 kills in that last map, he's carrying a lot of the workload, and it goes to show that Annihilation was able to hold out that long, probably partially because of him.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there.
And just something that the stat sheet can't really, tell you is kind of the intangible stuff. Is Cardona's last steal on that map really did save them the game. Like, we would not be here if Cardona didn't get that clutch steal in the last minute. And even though the stat sheet might not reflect that, it seems as if maybe that's all the energy that Annihilation needed to maybe turn things around and, maybe stop tilting a little bit and figure out what needs to be done to maybe come out with a win.
Yeah. So it'll be very interesting to see how both teams do on this final map. See what strategies they pull out and what roles they play. Let's see what Annihilation plays. They've been switching up roles on map last time, so it'll be very interesting to see. We're in for a fun one on this one, I think, because this is an interesting map where a lot can happen.
Absolutely, and if I had to make a prediction, I'd dare say it's too close to call. Because if Rox keeps playing the way they've been playing, and, Annihilation keeps playing the way they've been playing, it really is anyone's game, because these teams have been practically evenly matched all throughout.
Yeah. It's been about 2 weeks since I last heard Too Close to Call. Get that reference. Anyways.
Annihilation sends out the Rolf as we have 5 seconds to go.
We'll see who wins in a few minutes' time. Let's see. Looking at the Annihilation offense, it seems like they're still the same roles. I'm sure they're playing a Chemist. Chemist respawned. Monkey Noodle switched from Chemist to Necro, and then is on Medic.
I think the switch to Necro is a really good choice, at least in my experience playing for the Midnight Snacks in the drafting tournament. Our offensive Necro really did help us out on Castle Caverns. That was one of the maps we were a little more inclined toward. But here, Checktation does steal. I'm sorry, Cardona. Pardon me.
Yeah, I get that mixed up too, but he is out. He is getting frenzied by Bar. He's on top. With this map, interesting. He does get to the medic, gets a restore. Jack with him. Going down mid. Gotta watch out for the archer on this map, especially when going down mid. He is still out. He is currently on 3 stake.
Wow.
He is going to. I think it looks like he's going to get a capture here. Very dynamic start for Annihilation, and they get that capture they needed.
The very first push of the map, Annihilation captures. Oh my goodness.
It seems like easily the momentum is coming in from the last map to Annihilation. If you're Roxerces, we have a tied game, and now you gotta shift your mentality.
As we said, that Bell steals. He's going back toward the red spawn, but
we met by Will.
Where's the assassin?
Medic's down there, but so is Annihilation's defense. He is death tag right now. Not sure he gets the restore there. They're knocking the pyro away. He's still alive. He's not going right side.
Swap
Could get a response here. Yeah, it does get swapped back though, and he goes down to I lost the game. So Annihilation's defense, I mean, it looks like Roxerces, I mean, they know that now, the game's tied, but they're still alive as well. It's not like...
Cardona's stolen again.
He's going out mid though. He is out. They'll need a stop here, or else Annihilation will take the lead within the first 3 minutes of this map.
There's a lot on him right now, but he does have a support. He gets the medic.
Cardona in clutch time. He's still alive. He's going to get the capture here, and another comeback by Annihilation so far. I mean, there's still a whole 17 minutes left, but...
Danny is stolen in the meantime. Goes down, but...
Kasham's elf.
I'm frankly speechless. That was incredible. Cardona racking up 2 caps in under 3 minutes in the last map of the game, and having saved the game altogether in that last map by having that clutch steal at the end. I honestly don't know what to say. That's incredible play.
It is incredible. And, last week they made a comeback against Delta Force, being down 4-1 in map 3. So far, it looks like they might make another comeback. But again, I mean, there is a lot of time left. That was not a nice pass there by Rox. Mackie was trying to pass it to Kasham, but it seems like they miscommunicated, and Fridge was able to get a recovery there. Mackie gets the flag here, which is not a good move by him, as he had the elf right there. Fella gets the flag, though. It gets webbed by Austin, though. He is still alive, however. He has 0 stake. He's likely going to go down here. And he is going to go down to Miski. Yeah, I mean, if you're Roxerces, you gotta, now you gotta recognize now you're the one losing, and not that you need to, don't just look at the time and be like, okay, we have a lot of time, it's okay. But I think, okay, perhaps he could, but, Karana gets the flag here, but he goes down to F1. Danny gets flagged as a backup steal. He is out, has 2 stake with him, doesn't have much support, though. 93 also has the flag, though. 93, Pyro Turtle picks up the flag. He's Pyro. 93, though, is also out. He is by the Roxerces flag room. It seems like we're going to have a stalemate, as long as Fire Turtle passes it. You don't want to, definitely don't want to hold as a Pyro in this map. In a stalemate, man. Right now, it seems like Fire Turtle has a lot of pressure on him. He's going to pass it here to Shaq, teams, or Cardona. Does pass it, and Shaq picks it up. So now we have a stalemate here between 93 and Shaq Nation. 93 also has to pass. He is elf. And they did this a lot in Lowrise. He goes down to Willow, and that's going to be another capture for Annihilation. And right now, Roxerces right now, it's all falling down for them, sadly.
I'm honestly astonished. It seems like this is basically an entire different Annihilation team playing than it was in the first 2 maps. They really feel energized, and seems like they're capping at will almost.
Yeah, I remember last week I was interviewing Bosk right after the match against Annihilation. He was talking about how, first few moments of map 3 Adrenaline, they were down, maybe 4-1, the call was quiet. And then as they started coming back, they started getting a lot of energy in that call. I gotta assume it's the same thing right now. Monkey gets the flag, though.
He is Necro, and he's getting pretty far, all things considered. Finds his medic.
Assassin's there. Gotta watch out for the assassin there. One. goes down though. This might be another. This might be a fourth capture by Annihilation, unless they make a stop here. Some sort of counter steal.
This looks like it's going to be the fourth cap. Oh my goodness. And Cardona steals again. And he's out.
As Soldier, and it seems like, yeah, it looks like this is going to be another capture. This might just...
He's just going to walk it straight down mid.
93, though, goes down mid, but that is very unfortunate, as Cardona's going to get the game-winning cap here. Unless Roche gets a counter steal. He
Cardona's
is
only on 9 health. Cardona goes down.
Curry and very quick stop.
Put the game away is lost as both teams recover. Oh my goodness.
Roche dies. The flag's still up there. It looks like they're gonna have. It looks like 93 is about to pick it up though. He does pick it up. Now he's going down mid. He's gonna have to meet a support though. He gets swapped back to Misty. Ivan has the flag. Sorry, Danny has the flag. Yeah, and
Nin picks up to have a second stalemate.
Have a second stalemate. Hopefully this one. Ooh, gets swapped back.
93 swapped back far. No support with him. Finds a nice move
there for him by him to get back to his support. Oh, he goes down to Brandino.
Headshot from Brandino finishes the map. 5-0 on map 3 for an Annihilation victory. That is absolutely incredible.
What an incredible comeback indeed by Annihilation. And I think if you ask me, man, just how the momentum shifted there from the last map onto this one is very interesting. And if you're Roxerces, you had to be really, really heartbroken there. We're so close to pulling off a really big upset, perhaps the biggest upset so far in this tourney. But sadly, that wasn't the case, and they go down. And honestly, it wasn't really that close on this map. Obviously, it was 5-0. So, I mean, if you're Annihilation, I think at the same time, although you did get the win and you did get a very decisive map 3 win, I was still pretty sloppy in those first 2 maps. But at the end of the day, a win is a win. And yeah, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's, again, forgive me, I'm absolutely speechless. Just Rox came in with such dominance to start the first 2 maps and then absolutely collapsed in map 3. I wonder what went on in the Annihilation call that made them realize they need to re-energize and rethink what they're doing, and it gave them this win. But with that being said, do we want to talk about player of the game and possibly an interview?
Yeah, I mean, I think personally, I have to give player of the game to Cardona, but just being that guy who I think he alone just completely shifted, Annihilation's momentum, just skyrocketed from there with his first 2 captures in Castle Caverns. What do you think?
No, I completely agree. I think giving Cardona player of the game is really the only option. He saved the entire match on map 2 by getting that clutch steal with 30 seconds to go, and then captured twice almost effortlessly on Castle Caverns to give Annihilation the tie, which ultimately gave them the energy to take the win with a 5-0 sweep on map 3. Giving player of the game to Cardona is basically a no-brainer in my opinion.
Yeah. No, who should be happy a bit is Delta Force. Now they're not the only team that's going to be memed for choking. But anyways, yeah. So let's bring in Cardona.
Yeah, we might as well interview him. So.
Highlights are currently processing, so for those who want to recap, goodness, a few moments here.
Cardona should be joining us momentarily for an interview.
Welcome.
And we should be waiting for Miski to join us for a dual interview. But before we start, oh, there we go.
Hey guys, well, to start off, how are you guys feeling after that match? That was very, very momentum shifting there on the third map.
You want to go first, Cardinal?
Sure. Okay, so I feel really strange after that match. I think the momentum bounce on map 3, especially like Castle Caverns, I don't think that's a map we like play at all really often. I think we just like kicked it up a gear, made sure everything was solid, and like started calling out a lot better things. That's kind of what like made it shift like that at the very end. I feel very good about that ending. It was really solid, really nice work from our entire team there.
Yeah, you also gotta feel good because you were just named player of the game, Corona. Second off, I mean, although you guys did have a very decisive win, those first two maps did seem pretty sloppy for you guys. What are some improvements you guys can make after that match?
Yeah, so I can definitely comment on this. It's no joke that like we played a very bad match today. Our map 3 is fine, but we had a lot of issues there as well. Our first two maps are like pretty terrible from us compared to like what we normally expect, and it's something we definitely need to improve on. In terms of specific things you can improve on, I think just stuff like more flexibility in general. We ran into like an issue where Cardona was lagging on Elf and whatnot, and we really hesitated on the call to put Danny on offense to put me back on defense. He ran me on Elf, something I'm not really like, comfortable on. We need to be more confident in those calls. Also, other things as well is stuff like tilt and stuff like distractions like in game. We need to kind of cut those things out and focus more on the actual gameplay, make sure everyone's like fulfilling their roles and doing their job. And then I think specifically with Rox, this is a team we underestimated. This is a team we definitely should have 3-0 3-0'd. And even just us underestimating them and having those issues in the game made us go to third map. And then third map, we finally kicked it into gear. And again, like that's how that entire match should have been.
Yeah. Now next week. Sorry, go ahead.
One thing I wanted to mention that seemed to be a little bit of controversy toward the end of this first map was how Bar apparently was able to see Invis Ninjas with his Labby mod. Do you guys think that really had an outcome on what happened with that one? And do you think the way that refs handled it is the right way to go?
So I think in terms of whether or not it had an outcome, that's not for us to decide. That's for the refs to decide. And I try to communicate that while we're in game. This is something where like, again, I mentioned things like tilting us and whatnot. That's something players are tilted about. That's something that we as a team, though, should not focus on during the game. That's something the ref should handle, and we need to be we can be cognizant of it and play around it, but that's not something that we need to be focusing on during the game. So I don't really have a lot of comments regarding that specifically, I guess.
Fair enough.
Yeah, for me on that part, I think it was definitely like annoying because I had like good opportunities that were kind of like shut down by it. But like the whole thing with that is it happening at all isn't like our call to like handle. That's exactly like Miski said. That's like the referee's job. The number one goal that we had in mind after that was happening was just to not tilt, and that was all that's being like said in our call is like, don't worry about it, just keep going, just keep going. And it kind of worked out in the end for us.
Yeah, I have to applaud you guys. That was a very good mentality there. Just as a final question, next week you guys face Olympus, which is going to probably be your toughest opponent ever since the TB match. What are you guys going to do? What do you guys feel like? How do you guys feel going into that match?
I can definitely start off on this one again. I think we haven't really made it a secret that we are playing for playoffs at the moment. Olympus is going to be a tough match for us, but we are missing some of our key players. Carson specifically, who is banned, and I think it's no joke to say that our roster's in full strength. And I think you maybe saw part of that today, but that wasn't entirely the issue. But I think it's just a match that we're looking to go in. We're looking to play our best. Whether we come out with like a win or a loss isn't like deal breaking for us. We're basically we are guaranteed playoffs at this point. And the difference in that second and third seed isn't super important for us. We'd rather focus on going in, improving throughout the match, giving our best, and then looking forward to playoffs and being the best team going into week 9 against Citrix and into playoffs. So
Absolutely. I agree with what Miski said. I think we're going to go in, we're going to give it our best. Whether or not we win or lose isn't a super big deal to us. The main point main takeaway we're going to try and get from this match is just experience and see what we're going to mold into for the playoffs. Like you said, Olympus is going to be really tough. We've been practicing a lot with them recently, and they have been like very consistent. Personally, from like an offensive perspective, their defense is like super solid. Definitely like up there as one of the best in the game. So I think as like an offense player for our team, I think that's the main thing that I'm personally going to be focusing on, kind of seeing what I need to be able to do and what I need to be able to have everyone else do to kind of like adapt to what we're going to be fighting in the playoffs. And then, yeah, Citrix in week 9 too.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, guys, on your win today, and good luck for the next match and matches after that. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it a lot. Thanks for having us.
No problem. So that's gonna do it for today. For this match at least. Next match is Focia versus Olympus. Pepe, do you have any last thoughts?
No, just a final congratulations to Annihilation on that astounding victory. Came back in, incredible fashion, and really exciting match to watch. And we'd like to thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Yep.
I'm cutting dice. Look at these eyes.